I'm not a big breakfast eater, mainly just because I'm usually on the go doing something, and so a cup of coffee usually gets me going.
I'm very busy. Although I only have 2 classes, I work 2
The
jobs.
beginning stages of COVID, we had a temporary shutdown. It was like 2 or 3 months.
COVID has personally impacted me and my family. People are nervous about asking for help. There's a degree of stigma that comes with asking for help in any situation.
I would say last semester when we transferred from everything, well, mostly everything being in person to Elron, it was a bit of a shakeup, and that affected my grades and my performance.
The beginning stages of COVID, like, it impacted a lot tremendously. It's like, I mean, some weeks it's like a little bit harder than others. So I went. I have a big family, so when I could help them out a little bit, and they're donating some food, I thought, why not? And they were outreaching, saying if they participate or not, and it'd be pretty cool.
I'm a full-time student, nursing major, using my profession, my career to volunteer, to help people, and just grow in this country. So what we're doing here today in a partnership with the Pantry is we have some clothes that were donated to us, men's and women's, so for career clothes that we call. Every student that comes in, they can pick outfits so they can be better prepared.
Well, I've been here since 2018, and I didn't really know about it until my 2nd or 3rd semester here, when a lot of my friends started using it. And because I usually brought lunch or stuff when I, always came to school every day, I heard about it from my friends, but also from the from Courtney, who runs the volunteer program, I believe.
I've been here at NCC for 14 years, and I've been doing this type of work. But before that, I worked in nonprofit for 8 years before I came here. So it's always been part of my, I'm interested in it. I love nonprofit type of work, and I love college students. So this is a great opportunity for me to meld the two together. So I have a dream job for me. The Pantry got started about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago now. And it had been something that we, some of my colleagues and I have been talking about for many years. Wouldn't it be nice to have a food pantry on campus? Wouldn't it be great to have that resource for students? And about 6 years ago, we got an AmeriCorps Vista volunteer named Rachel, who is amazing.
So for context, I serve through AmeriCorps. The Prevention Corps program placed me here at Norwalk Community College, and my service term started in early November.
And she was able to really dedicate the time to develop the process and get donors and work with the administration to find space on campus. And our administration here was so great and supporting the initiative. So I like to kind of say, it was a team effort with several people, and we were able to get it started. Everyone was excited. We had a ribbon cutting ceremony. We had people come and give speeches. It was really, really nice, and the pantry looked much different than it does now. Because of COVID, we're not open every day, and we're only distributing bags on Wednesdays. Some students are not on campus on Wednesdays, or they can't get to campus on Wednesdays, so it does develop some challenges for students, especially if maybe students take public transportation. Do they want to take a bus all the way here to get a bag of food? Is it worth it for them? So we could be serving more students, but just the way that our design is right now, it does limit some students from being able to use the pantry. I used to be able to take a lot more volunteers in the pantry because I would be open 5 days a week from 9 to 5, and so I would have a lot more volunteers. They could do some other volunteering during the week, but I have less opportunities for them, and also because of social distancing and COVID, I can't have 12 volunteers in the pantry. We talk a lot. We have a lot of meetings. And I have great student workers. I mean, the volunteers and my student workers or my service learning volunteers are key. It's hard work. It is hard work. I'm one person. I just couldn't do it without them. They are essential. They each have their designated responsibilities. So I have a student worker that really helps me with my budget. She does my purchase recs. She makes copies for me. I have one student that does inventory. He counts everything that we have. I'm very, very lucky. I have really strong student workers, and they're great. They're great.
I am a part-time student here at NCC. I'm taking a leadership development class and a Spanish 2 class. Because of COVID, I work 3 to 4 days a week at the Pantry. I handle the budget. I try to make sure that we don't fall over or fall too short with bags to make sure that every student can have one. If they're in need of one, I also try to make sure that there's enough funds to make sure we have bags in general. I think it's having a major impact on the community because not all campuses have access to it. Before I came here, I went to a previous university and we did not have a food pantry, and there were students who were hungry and couldn't afford to have a meal plan at the school, so times were hard for them. So to see this and to be a part of this really makes me happy. To definitely open up resources and opportunities for students who may not know about these resources. I guess you could say it's a privilege to have access to it. Thank you. I think that this is definitely a wake-up call for the community in itself at NCC, not just for the students, but staff and faculty, and I'm great to be a part of it.
I am a full-time student. I work 3 days a week, so on Mondays, like I said, I make the bags, and then on the Wednesdays, I come and help in the cafeteria. So that's when we're distributing bags, but there's usually somebody already there, so then I can just show up and then I'll change the shift. And then on Thursdays will be my final work day, which I come back to the pantry right here and I count all the items that we have, so that way we can make sure that we have the right amount of items for the next week. When I first started working here, it was a really big experience because it was my first job. I really enjoyed it because I met a ton of people from the campus who were really good people. And before COVID, this place was actually open, so a lot of people would come through, and then I got to meet a bunch of new people, which was a really great experience for me because I made a bunch of new connections, friends, and that's one of the major parts that I am thankful for this job. Especially at the beginning of COVID, not many people were willing to come to the campus, so we definitely had to change a lot of things up because obviously people can't come in anymore. So that was why one of the main reasons why we moved from this room to the cafeteria, because it's more open, and then it's not, people aren't confined into a small area, and that way it could be more controlled as into how people come and pick up their items. I think it plays a big role because it's another, another resource. So it brings more people together, like I said, because I got to meet a lot of people, and it's just an extra place for people to come.
For me personally, COVID, I have experienced the loss of my grandmother due to COVID complications. She passed away the day after Christmas. So COVID has personally impacted me and my family in that regard. In terms of the pantry, they've shifted from being open 4 to 5 days a week for a couple of hours a day to being open 1 day a week from 9 to about 4:30, 5 o'clock. And they've gone from being able to take a few items a day to you can take a bag full of items once a week, but you can keep on coming. So in my opinion, it's actually increased the availability of food as well as how long that food actually lasts. Because each bag is designed to last 1 to 2 people for several meals. They're not skimpy, they're really, really beefy. Even from a young age, I knew that there were always people who needed help and who had food insecurity, even though I didn't understand exactly what that insecurity was. I always knew it was there. This more solidified the view that what I am doing to try to help people is not only necessary, but also it's not like shameful, it's not like giving handout, like people may make the arguments of, oh, this is just charity, it's just handouts. It's not. And it's something that has kind of been like passed down through my family. Before I was born, my dad would help out at a homeless shelter. And so it just kind of, if you will, it runs in the family of just helping people. I've always known that people need help in some capacity at one point or another in their lives. It's just part of being human. And now I am helping out in the best way that I can.
Especially around these times where people might be working less because of COVID, or not going out of their homes, or they're ill, or their food is everything. So that's why the community is working hard. That's why we're working hard. That's why donors have come out in droves to help us out with those things, because it is so important. So if we can take some of that burden off of students can then focus more on their schoolwork. And so they're not maybe worrying about where their next meal is coming from.
I would like to say to take advantage of it if you need it.
A lot of people utilize and need this stuff.
Like I said, it's tremendous, and it's like really appreciated. Like, listen, any help helps out a lot. It goes a long way.
I think they definitely need to come here and see what we got, because regardless of like economic standings, you can just, it's an extra resource, and it's just helpful to any student whenever you need it. It's just there.
It's insane how much donations we actually get in either food or people volunteering their time or NCC allowing us to have this space. It really does add up.
I'm glad that I get to be a part of the initiative, as well as taking advantage of my resources, because I am someone who may need, resources, or if it's not for me, it's someone that is in my household.
People around this food insecurity or food pantry, the people in the community or our faculty and staff, our volunteers, people are so generous either with their time, money, resources. So it's an extremely positive community to be a part of. What we've definitely proven throughout the years that we have been able to adjust and change as the students' needs have changed. I would say that we are just going to keep, if the funding is existing, I'm not going anywhere. Our student volunteers are great. We're just going to keep going with the trend. So I just see great things for the pantry. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I do see great things for the pantry in the future.